Hopefully, most every meeting we'll have a spotlight on business. Today we have Parker Sales and Services, and I'll turn it over to our county manager, Mike James.
All right, thank you. Been going around meeting with a lot of the local businesses, and we want to have a spotlight business, hopefully every meeting. Just businesses large and small that are locally based, locally owned, and they can tell us a little bit about what they do, and we can learn more about them. We chose Parker for today simply because they're a good-sized company, and as I walked around, talked to folks around the community, not a lot of people knew exactly what they do, because most of their customers are out of the region. They're selling to companies all over the country, so I thought they would be a great choice for today. So we've got Pat and Sam over here on the front row, and I'm going to turn it over to them, and the floor is yours. 5 to 10 minutes. Just tell us whatever you want us to know about Parker.
Morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Something about the company.
Thank you. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And Mike, his first week on the job, came out and visited us right away. It was very impressive to have you come by and be interested in our company. Appreciate it a lot. Parker Sales is a manufacturer of filters, mostly in what we call non-woven cloth, man-made felt materials. We're in what they call the dry filtration industry. We capture particles that are dry or dust in the air, and that's our specialty, versus wet filtration would be more liquids, filtering liquids. Our biggest industry is the bakery industry, the bread and bun plants. We sell to all the major bread and bun plants throughout the United States. The two biggest bakeries in the United States, number one is a Mexican owned in Mexico, is Bimbo. They're the largest bakery company in the world. Second is Flowers. You see all these different names of breads. You look a little closer, most of them are Bimbo Flowers. And then we sell to a lot of other small bakeries throughout the country. And then you have bakeries that just specialize in McDonald's buns and Burger King buns and things like that. And we're there. And also in snack food companies throughout the United States. We also specialize in Sam will go into the details, but a filter like that, a long tubular filter, in which we sell into the wood plants, cement plants, and asphalt. These are baghouse filters that capture the dust. We were founded in 1958. Sam has been with the company since 1992. And I joined in 2004. So we're a 58-year-old company. We consist of 23 employees, with sales approximately a little under $3 million. And this year we're having about 8% growth. So business is doing well for us. The key to our success is most of our orders are small quantities. We have quick turnaround service. We deal with small orders, and we're in front of our customers constantly. We have 3 outside salesmen that cover the United States that are in the plants, into all these bakery plants. And a lot of times, if there's an emergency, they might have a problem and they're down, we got to get there right away and help them out. A lot of times they're going to have an inspection. A lot of times the bakeries, when the inspector comes, they have to clean house, and they want to change over their filters and everything, and we got to get it out to them right away. And that's a key to our success. Life expectancy of a firm, by the way, 50 years ago was 75 years. Today, the average age of a company is 15 years. So we're very proud of our 58 years of success. I don't know if you know, but 62% of all companies is 5 employees or less in the whole country. 51% of all small businesses are 50 years, owners are 50 years older. So Sam and I admit that. Fewer than 500 employees represent more than 99.7% of all employees in the country, small companies. We small companies provide 80% of all new jobs, produce more than 50% of non-farm GDP, 90% of all exports are from small businesses. 52% of all small businesses are home-based, and 50% fail in the first 5 years of existence. So again, we're proud of our existence. We are in the industrial textile. Overall, it's still the textile industry. Currently, there's 232,000 employees in the textile industry, which represents 2% of the total workforce, U.S. workforce. But more than 200,000 jobs have lost in the last decade. More than a third of all textile jobs come from Georgia and North Carolina. So it's a concern. In industrial textiles, it's still doing well. Our field is doing well. The biggest part of industrial textiles is automotive. A lot of filtration in automotive. But we have to look to the future and see what's going to happen. We're beginning to see in some of the areas where robotics is coming in. You heard in other industries, well, it's coming into textile. A little bit harder in textile because it's a lot of feel to a product, but they're making inroads in that. And it's going to take a lot longer in our company because, again, our strength is small orders, quick turnaround. And when you look at robotics and automation, everything is used a lot more of the same item over, repetitive. And ours is not. We're constantly making different products all day long. At this point, I'm going to let Sam go in and explain our products to you.
Good morning. I'll be relatively brief. We came to Alleghany County in 1984 on a part-time basis and actually moved the company from Charlotte here in 1990. Our first location was in the back of an upholstery shop on Chick Street, back across from the wash pot, with the car wash over there. In 1992, we moved on to Main Street. A lot of y'all probably remember us on Main Street and next to the old J.C. Penney's catalog store. Here we were a small industrial textiles firm with sewing machines, and everybody was very curious about what we were doing at the time. In 1996, we bought the 5-acre out parcel from the industrial park that now contains what used to be Bristol Compressors. It was an odd parcel there, and we turned around and developed a building. And in 2001, we doubled the size of that building, and at present we're busting at the seams and pretty much having no room to move. So we're trying to make the best do with the space that we have. Again, a number of products that we do, I'll kind of start out from out to in. What Donna has on her table is a connector sleeve. So what that is used in is in commercial grain operations. Archer Daniels, Midland, Bartlett, a number of others use these in their sifting operations when they are converting raw grain, raw wheat, raw oats to flour, a usable product that people eat. So this stuff has to be food grade, and most of the stuff that we use is FDA approved food grade in those applications. Mike has what's called a dust collector filter. This one is a typical, what we call a bottom load filter. Typically not too many in the house, but they will use these to vacuum up dust. In a commercial baking operation, they'll use it, they sprinkle flour on top of their dough before they bake it, and they'll have a unit that will actually suck the excess flour off it and recycle and reuse it, and they use those type of dust collectors on the end there. What Karen has is a product we're particularly proud of. Sorry about that. This is something we've developed for the United States Navy. As you have seen, or probably seen over the years, the Navy has gone into a development mode with their ships, where they're trying to do things with stealth, with air cleanliness, and that type of thing. And what they have done now, in completely enclosing the decks of their ships, they have to bring in clear and clean air for the ship people to be able to function and breathe. They use HEPA, which is a very, very sophisticated, expensive type technology to scrub their air, especially in theater. In the Gulf, in the Arabian Gulf, ships would typically use this filter, and what we do is we have designed this to go into a canister that the HEPA filter goes into, and that's what's considered a pre-filter. These HEPA filters cost anywhere between $250,000 and $750,000 a piece to go into these things. And without using one of these pre-filters, then we're getting about 2.5 to 3 months in theater. Once we put that in there, they're getting 2 to 3 years in some cases in theater. Some of those went over to Japan during the earthquakes to help scrub the air. They, believe it or not, trying to clear out the radiation and the dust and the type of things in the air there too. The item that Bobby has, this is a material called Arabic, better known as Nomex. This is typically used in high temperature applications, furnaces, blast furnaces, asphalt, metal castings, soil reclamation, and any other type of product where temperature is a critical factor, and where polyester, which is what that thing is made out of, would melt. We send that stuff all over the country and actually export it as well to Turks and Caicos and the Eastern Caribbean and up in Canada. The piece that Tom has is our catch claws, or a small version thereof. We use this actually to put under conveyors in commercial baking operations. And what this stuff does is it catches the cripples. These are the things that will pass through their conveyor chains, the breads, the buns, the coffee cakes, the whatever they're making. It will catch those and keep them from falling on the employees' heads. It's also a sanitation tool, and it catches the crumbs, it catches the oil, grease, and that type of thing. And we actually install that product as well as manufacture it, and we literally go all over the country. We put jobs from Maine to Miami. We were in Modesto, California, not too terribly long ago, and we also do some things in Colorado, Illinois, Texas, and a number of other places. What Mark has in front of him here is what's called a shroud, and what this thing does is it covers. This is made out of a rubberized cloth that also is manufactured in North Carolina, by the way, a company up in Marion called Trelleborg. And what this shroud does is that is put over a mixing bowl. There's an inlet on the top of it, and the bottom of it it goes on these big industrial round bowls. And typically these will be used in the pharmaceutical industry and other dry chemical industries where they're trying to make small batches of product. They dump their dry ingredients in, and instead of letting the dry ingredients just blow up all over the place, we put a shroud on the top of that, and it completely contains it inside the mixing bowl while they're fluidizing, where they're mixing the product. The last item is the one that folks would probably most identify with, and this is what's called a top-load dust collector. The blue silos and tan colored silos you see over in Galax along the river there, those are dust collectors. Those are industrial dust collectors, and they typically take these. Each one of those houses will contain anywhere between 350 and 500 of them at a time. So when they go to change all of those over at either Bassett or Webb, it's a pretty decent sized order. It is a pretty decent sized order. One of the things that we pride ourselves on, and Pat touched upon it, and I'll touch upon it again, this is all local jobs, trying to use local textiles when we can, but we don't have to necessarily depend on the local economy for our business survival. What we do offer the county is the opportunity for employment with good wages, good benefits. It's a stable work environment. We're not susceptible to NAFTA and any of the other importing pressures, simply because they cannot mass produce and service the market in the speed that it requires for this market to be taken care of. They just can't do it. And this is an industry that'll be here as long as somebody wants to be here and run the place. It will not go away because of NAFTA or some kind of trade deal that any in our federal government or other areas may want to do. It just can't do it. Any questions?
I just want to say that that's an obvious success story. We thank you both, and I'd like to open it up for any comments or questions at this time.
Well, I would like to say I am thrilled to see you here today and hear about all your success. I remember when you first started, and you've come a long, long way. And I'm thrilled that Mike has brought you here, and this is going to be a continued part of the agenda. And we should be focusing on our small business and all business in this county. And I applaud you for your success and congratulate you, and thank you for coming today.
Karen and I, a little bit of history, we were in a civic organization together back in 94, 95, somewhere back in that
Yeah.
time. And yeah.
JC's, and then they roostered me out because I was over 40.
Yeah, we got one good year out of her.
I would like to echo what Karen said. Yeah, I think this is going to be a spotlight for our meetings for years to come. But again, your success story is a success story for the county and for the town. What you do helps all of us. And what we can do to help you, we need to know. If there's anything that the local government can do, for you, please let us know what we can do. What's your sales force? Who does your sales work?
It's all done internally, either inside on the phone or our employed folks in the company. We do not go through manufacturers' reps. We do not go through any other kind of distribution chain. It is direct to the customer.
And do you have any trouble transporting your products in your raw material? Are the roads good enough for you? I assume your stuff comes, a lot of it tractor trailer, and
It does.
a lot of it goes out though, what, UPS or?
Small package, most of it goes out small package, yes. There have been challenges. The 21 widening, I think, helped a lot. I'm hoping that Wilkes County will actually take up the run there and maybe widen the mountain a little bit. It's still dangerous. We do have some folks that the trucking company services us through Pulaski, Virginia, and that can be an issue because you have the stretch between Independence and the New River, which is just basically a goat path. But that's in another county, another state, for that matter. Where it comes into Alleghany County, it's a wide open road, and trucks can navigate pretty easily through it. Logistics can be a problem. Most of the larger freighting companies, because of I won't say the smallest, but the size of the industrial base up here, not every freight company will send trucks up here every day. And our challenge has been getting somebody to come up here and pick up our product when we do have LTL shipments. And that's not something for a BCB trucking, because we do not do full-load trucking across the country or even parts of the country. And that can be an issue. There are a couple of freight companies here that do come here every day, but most of them do not. And that can be a real problem for us. And I don't know how to fix it, other than to grow and to do enough business to make them come up here.
I'm curious, how many local employees do you have?
23. 24. 23. We've had as many as 27.
Thank you.
Just thanks for coming in and sharing. I had no clue really what you did, but I've heard the name and knew you did something and had some employees. It sounds like you may be, with the growth you've got, is there any thoughts or any potential expansion in the
Yes.
future? And
Yes.
So there may be some things with the state that we can help, align you with locally. And I don't know what's available, but I understand there may be some things there that we can help you out with. So
it is an issue.